during the festive season, it's like a ghost country. Like everyone is at home. Maximum you get to see someone maybe if you take a walk in the forest, that's when you meet someone. My lovelies, life with Ruzhoff, inspiring you to live an empowered life. In today's Vlogmas, we're going to be talking about why holidays are so lonely for migrants or people with a migrant background and the elderly. And of course, being a social empowerment channel, we're going to sort of talk about how you can support someone in such a situation. So matter of fact, as a migrant, being one myself, much as I'm a German, you have no family here most of the time. Like you don't have a mom, you don't have a sister, you don't have any siblings here, which I did experience myself. If you're lucky and you're married, then you have your nuclear family, but besides that, you're all by yourself. We have to keep in mind that a country like Germany, for example, oh my God, during the festive season, it's like a ghost country. Like everyone is at home. Maximum you get to see someone maybe if you take a walk in the forest, that's when you meet someone. But everyone is staying indoors, everyone is staying put with their families, reconnecting. And if you don't have family here, then you are completely isolated. You're completely by yourself. And it gets even worse because you're thinking about your own family back home. You probably would have wanted to go home, but you couldn't. And now you're seated and stuck here and thinking, wow, everyone is having a good time and I'm all by myself, which is very, very sad. And that is also the same case with the old people. When I just moved to Germany, I made friends, not really friends, but acquaintances with a mature woman, maybe like 56 at that time, and her mom was living in a care home. She was the only surviving child, didn't have, grandchildren, and she used to go visit her mom every Saturday. So one time, out of curiosity and idleness, to be honest, because I was not yet working, I requested if I could come with her every Sundays to see what happens there. And I remember the first day on our way back, I cried the entire drive back home because I was like, how sad is this? How lonely are these people? Like waking up every morning, forced to have breakfast at 6 a.m. and then sitting somewhere in a communal room the whole day and waiting for someone to come and give you dinner again at 6 p.m. So imagine that during the festive season, if you're someone who's had a family before, because they all have their stories. I loved talking to them. And then you imagine that my family is somewhere having a good time and I'm stuck here, and if I'm lucky, someone will come over for 3 minutes and check on me. And some of them never even get any visitors. And I feel even someone in a care home is much better off than someone who's even stuck at home all by themselves and no one is coming to check on them. So that's why I actually decided to do a both way, immigrants and elderly people, because they face the same challenges. One other factor to keep in mind is it's very difficult to make friends when you relocate, and I know that by myself. When you move to a new country, it's difficult to find rules, to find people that you really connect to, the kind of friends that will invite you over for maybe for Christmas dinner or Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve. So you'll find that you're very isolated. Same applies to old people. Maybe you've had friends before, but most of them have passed on, so you're all there by yourself without people that you're so closely connected to that are even going to think about you during the festive season and be like, my friend is all by himself, my friend is all by herself, maybe let's invite her over for dinner. Same applies to old people. So it can be very lonely, it can be very isolating, which in some cases it even leads to depression or winter blues. And we also have to keep in mind that finances play a very, very big role when it comes to festive seasons. We talk about the buying of the gifts, we talk about the planning of the food. A person like me who loves to travel during the festive season, you're going to need to have the money to travel. If you're traveling home, flight tickets to my home country, if I'm flying with my kids, are very expensive, for example, even if you're flying solo. So most migrants, for example, don't have the financial means to fly home every festive season, which means again they're going to be stuck here isolated if they don't have family, for example, like nuclear family like I do myself. So you're going to be stuck here year in, year out, because you don't have the means to either fly home or even maybe go somewhere for a weekend and have a good time. Same applies to old people that have worked all their lives and they're getting very tiny pensions that are not even enough to cover their rent or cover their mortgage. They don't have even the means to say, maybe let me go for a boat cruise this festive season, or let me travel somewhere else this festive season, because again, you need the financial muscle to be able to engage in something like that, to go out for a wellness weekend, which makes it really, really sad and lonely. And to be honest, I think a lot about people of migrant background every festive season, because I've experienced that myself. Even with my own nuclear family, I do get lonely during that festive season, not because I don't love my family, but because I also miss my other family, you know. That is the unfortunate bit. You have people around you, but you can even still feel lonely even when you have people around you, you know. So that is the sad reality. And as a person watching this, maybe this is, you know, a reminder to look out for someone, be it the elderly, be it someone with a migrant background. It could be a colleague, it could be a neighbor, it could be a friend. I think that is one way of also celebrating the festive season, because it's all about love and giving and caring. And what better way to do that than helping a stranger or even a friend? So in case you're wondering, how do I support someone during the holiday season, an elderly person, an migrant who has no family here? One way you could do that is invite them to gatherings. It doesn't have to be that intimate Christmas Eve. Like here in Germany, it's very, very familiar for your family only. But you could invite them to go with you to a Christmas market. You could invite them for breakfast. You could invite them for brunch. You could invite them to take a walk with you in the afternoon. You know, we tend to go so much into the cinemas during the festive season. Maybe invite them to come over. If it's an elderly person, invite them over for, you know, Christmas dinner. Just one evening, or invite them for coffee. Like here in Germany, we have a culture of afternoon coffee. Invite them at 4 p.m. for coffee, or even just go knock on their door and leave them a slice of cake or a piece of turkey, whatever you're eating this Christmas. But try and look out for your neighbors, try and look out for your colleagues, try and look out for your friends or even acquaintances, especially if it's someone with a migrant background or an elderly person. That is a great show of kindness and service. Nothing you could do is just give them a call. You know, just give someone a call. Don't write an SMS. That will also do if you're not the calling, you know, person. But try and give them a call. It goes along, because like I said, it gets really quiet. It gets really lonely during the festive season, especially if you're not communing with your family and your friends and you're all by yourself. It gets really, really dark and lonely. And then coupled with the weather that we have, for example, here in Europe, it's snowing, it's cold, it's raining, it's dark. A call could really be the lifesaver for someone that is in a situation where they're not sure what to do with themselves, you know. So that would really, really help if you did that. And for families, if you have, you know, your parents, your grandparents living, for example, in a care home, be kind enough to bring them home for a weekend. I know it can be difficult, I know it can be hard work, especially if these people really need the care and the support physically, but you could try and bring them home for just one weekend. They are still alive and you're still lucky to have them, and they still want to be part of the society. They still want to have a life. Give them the chance to celebrate life and bring them home for a weekend, or even if it's just for a day. Don't let them stay in care homes and just come over for 1 hour and then leave them there. It's very, very sad. Keep in mind when they were younger and they were always there for you and they were always making these celebrations worthwhile for you. Or even just imagine how you'd want to be treated when you finally get older and maybe also end up in such a care home. So I would encourage children, please take the sacrifice, you know, like the parents did all the sacrifices, and bring them home over Christmas. Spend quality time with them, you know, appreciate them, show them they're still loved and cared for. And if you're someone who is really, really out there to help and you'd really love to serve, and maybe even have the skills of cooking, one good idea that I find quite amazing is, imagine you're maybe also a single person or you're also a migrant and you're by yourself. You could come up with the idea, especially without social media. You can plan an afternoon where you invite people that are all by themselves to come over to your place and you have a coffee together. Or if you don't want to bring them to your place, arrange something, meet somewhere in a cafe with total strangers, and who knows, maybe you'll even end up making friends for the next festive season. You know, come up with ideas, activities. Let's meet for a walk, let's meet for coffee, let's cook together. We could cook Christmas dinner together, you know, with all these strangers. Everyone brings something and you cook and have a great evening, and that way you even get to make friends, you're not lonely, and you've made connections. I think that is also a very, very good idea. And then for migrant communities, be it the churches, because I know most migrants, especially with African background, they go lots to churches, you know, the different organizations that cater for migrants. Come up with activities that help these people not get isolated, be it a Christmas dinner, be it, like I said, meet for an evening to play cards and have a few drinks, or meet for coffee. Come up with something that really looks out for these people. Same for the elderly people. Our community should come up with activities to make sure these people are not lonely, are not by themselves. For care homes, for example, I would encourage you to invite the community, even total strangers, to come over and visit, to bring their children with them. Myself, when I used to visit this lady, her mom, every Sunday, one time I came with my little boy, I think that time was like 1 year. Oh my God, all the elderly were smitten, like they all wanted to have a second with my child, because again, they don't have contact to, you know, humans that much, or maybe they have grandchildren of their own that don't even come to visit. So invite the community to come over for an open door, that's what I would call it. Come over on a Sunday and visit our care home. You know, bring whatever you want. You can bring cookies, you can bring flowers, you can just spend time with our elderly people. I think that's also a very good idea. It will help them feel, you know, treasured and respected by the community that is even benefiting from their hard sweat, their hard work, because these were maybe hardworking people that paid taxes, and these things and the efforts and the sweat that they put in is still carrying us through as the younger generation. And for my people with migrant community, planning time, maybe plan ahead, see if you can get to meet with friends, family, or if you have to fly home, do that. Or if you have an opportunity of maybe inviting your family here, your friends, your siblings, do that so that you're not all by yourself. So my lovelies, if you really like this video and maybe it has even motivated you to do something positive this festive season, make sure to like it, share it with someone else so we can spread the love and also get to care for our different people in our communities. Subscribe if you're new here, and of course, I love to see you in the comment section with more tips of how someone can navigate the holiday season if they are all by themselves and don't want to end up in the lonely corner. My lovelies, I'm here to inspire, uplift, and empower you.